all your time waiting for that second chance, for a break that would make it okay. There's always some reason to feel not good enough, and it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction, oh, beautiful release. Memories seep through my veins, let me be empty, oh, weightless, and maybe I'll find some peace tonight in the arms of the angel. Fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you fear. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. So tired of the straight line, and everywhere you turn, there's vultures and thieves at your back. The storm keeps on twisting, keep on building the lies that you make up for all that you lack. It don't make no difference. Escape one last time. It's easier to believe in this sweet madness, all this glorious sadness that brings me to my knees. In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you fear. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. In the arms of the angel, may you find some comfort here. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here.
Good morning. My name is Kate Tyler Webber. My role here today is to help celebrate and pay tribute to the life of Stephen Barry Cahill. On behalf of Wendy, Steve's partner, and the family, I'd like to welcome you all here to the Mackay Family Chapel and to say thank you for your presence, and also to those who are joining us online today. A heartfelt thank you for your presence also. Steve was born to Barry and Joan Cahill on the 21st of February 1963 in Eastwood. He was one of two children. Steve was dad to Lauren, Amber, Jack, Gemma, Belinda, and Danielle. Steve was father-in-law to Andrew, Kayla, Daniel, and Troy. He was Poppy Steve to Annette, TJ, Xavier, Rebecca, Callie, Bella, Maya, Sophie, and Noah. Steve was brother to Katrina and brother-in-law to Ian and uncle to Elise and Jasmine. Steve was son-in-law to Gil and brother-in-law to Jenny. Can I ask Lauren now to come and share?
We're here today to celebrate the life of my dad. He was a son, a brother, a partner, a father, a Poppy, and a friend to us all. Born in 1963 to our grandparents, Joan and Barry, they grew up together in Eastwood with his sister, my auntie Katrina. He attended primary school in Eastwood at St Andrews and then high school at Meadowbank Boys High. Like many of the era, he loved his sports. He was always out surfing, and he started with soccer and later turning to his beloved league. Not that he ever bragged about it, but he was asked to play for the under-20s Balmain Tigers, which unfortunately he was never able to go through with due to his horrific surfing injury, which then began his track record of constantly hurting himself. I take my hat off to my nana for putting up with his accidents over the years. It goes without saying, but I'm sure everyone here is in utter disbelief that yet we are here today. He was in his absolute prime at only 59 years of age. He was the happiest he has ever been, and it was only getting better. Dad would be so grateful and stoked to see all of you here today to bid him farewell, but he would also be equally embarrassed as the humble, shy person that he was. It was only in 2013, in this exact spot, that we as a family said our goodbyes to Steve's father, Barry, my Poppy. None of us thought we would be back here again so soon, but I'm sure he and Pop are up there together right now, kicking back, waiting for us to talk about how much we loved them. But they would also be absolutely seething that the Eels lost the grand final on Sunday. When Steve was in his early 20s, he met my mum Jane. They spent many years together in Eastwood and then moved up to the Central Coast. In 1991 and then 1992, they welcomed myself and my sister Amber into the world. Steve was 28 and 29. When Mum and Steve decided to part ways some time after, it was this parting that brought Wendy into our lives, whom Dad met and introduced to us late 93, early 94. Wendy had a family of her own prior to meeting Dad, daughters Belinda, Danielle, and Gemma. It was the start of our blended family. In 1995, Wendy and Steve welcomed the longed-for baby boy, Jack, who had no hope in hell growing up with 5 big sisters. But he was Dad's saving grace in the female-dominated house, so even all the dogs were female. Jack was Dad's best mate from day one, and to this day he still is. He completed our blended family. Dad and Wendy spent a wonderful 28, 29 years together, and I know in my heart how incredibly happy he was. Blended families came with their own hurdles. Weekends spent together here and there, time apart, and then quality time together. But no matter how much time there was in between visits and conversations, the relationship stayed strong, and we always picked up where we left off. Over the last 20 years, every phone call I would have with Dad always started with, "I've hurt myself again," or "I've moved house," or "I've changed jobs." I swear he loved the hype, and sometimes I think he just wanted to hear my reaction as he knew I'd feel the funny side of it. The last conversation I had with him, he told me he'd broken some ribs. Obviously, I was not surprised by this, and we even joked about the accident he had years prior where he impaled his hand with a metal rod. He proudly told me his hand was just fine these days, ready for the next injury. He really should have had accident prone as one of his achievements on his resume. As a young kid, Jack's fondest memories of Dad were during the work week. He would wait for him to get home after a long day, patiently waiting, as children do, in the front yard with his football under his arm. Dad's car would pull into the driveway, and Jack would be so excited to pass the ball around with him. Not once did Dad ever say, "Not today, mate, I'm tired." He'd drop his bags and throw long. That is just the type of man that he was. He was always there for you, no matter what. He was just a reliable man. All Dad wanted in life was his family to be happy. The joy in his face when he spoke about any of them was contagious. He was known as the larrikin, the happiest guy in the room with a big grin on his face. I knew him as the man that was approachable, he was comforting, he was level-headed. He was content in his own silence, quite often sitting back taking in the room. Very rarely was he the angry dad. And I say rarely because even the things I remember he'd been upset about when we were kids, it was just things that kids did. And as a parent now myself, I look back and think, far out, I was a little shit. Looking back to when I was maybe 8 or 9, I went through the I want to be a hairdresser phase, which I proceeded to cut Gemma's hair. I paraded her around the house to show Dad and Wendy my work. The typical reaction of a parent was anger, of course, with Dad telling me to go and find the hair that I chopped off. But I know the second we left a room, there was laughter behind us. Dad's greatest achievement in life was all of his children and all of his grandchildren, all of whom absolutely adored their Poppy Steve. He never missed an opportunity to see them, to talk to them. Birthdays, Easters, Mother's Days, Father's Days, you name it, he was all for it. His favourite time of the year was Christmas, as it was the one time he was certain that he would have most of the family together. I grieve for his grandchildren, who only got to spend a short amount of years with him, and the grandchildren who he was still yet to meet. As they will be entered into this world, a world without him. But I take comfort in knowing he was here to experience his children's children, and we will all do everything in our power to ensure his memory lives on. Jack shared with me the memories of the man who taught him how to be a man, how to show respect, and how to treat others. He taught Jack everything he knows, and created so many important memories with him that he will pass down to his own children. There are so many things that can be said about Dad, all of which cannot fit onto a piece of paper, but there is no doubt he didn't love his children or anyone else in his life. I cannot begin to imagine what not having a dad is like. To say I loved him would be an understatement, and to say I'm going to miss him would be an even greater understatement. The reality of his loss is going to take a very long time to accept. I do not think it will hit home until it comes time for the big moment phone calls or visits. For Wendy, Jack and Kayla, the reality of this has already hit home. The armchair in the living room where he sat remains empty. The chair on the balcony overlooking the bay where he sat remains empty, and the other side of the bed where he has laid next to Wendy for the past 28 years is empty. Dad's love for Wendy was unconditional. He loved her from sun up to sundown and will continue to love her as his memory lives on. All of us kids love you, Wendy. We're here for you now and we'll be here for you forever. My daughter Maya said to me only a few days ago, "Mummy, Poppy Steve is the sun. He will always be there for us. Every sunny day is because of him. I know you do not have a dad anymore, but you have us, your family." I'm so incredibly grateful that I was able to stand here today to share some of the memories of my dad. I was and still am beyond blessed to have called him my dad. Thank you.
ask Danielle to come now and share, please.
I will never forget the first time that I met Steve. He brought with him a sense of safe and calm that always remained. To Steve, his family always came first, and I was always so proud to be able to call him my dad. Steve had a way of making everybody feel as though they were the most important person in the world. Steve never raised his voice, and there were so many times that I would tell him that I had done something stupid before I had told Mum, knowing this was going to be the much easier option. As I grew older, I realised just how lucky we were to have Steve in our lives. No matter what, he always had our backs. Once I had my own children, Steve became affectionately known as Poppy Steve, and he was the best Poppy. He was always so patient and understanding as the kids grew up. Steve was so proud of his grandkids, all of his grandkids, and he always had a smile on his face when he was around them. Steve taught me so many things growing up. He taught me how to love unconditionally and how to appreciate all of the opportunities that life gives me. I'm going to miss Steve more than I ever thought was possible. However, it has warmed my heart to see just how much he has impacted everyone's lives in such a positive way. I love you so much, Steve. Love always, your little mate. Thank you.
I'm now just going to read some words on behalf of Wendy. Last night, 2 weeks have passed since we said good night, as you went to bed. You never came home the next day. I could not have imagined this would be our last words, the last time I saw your face, the last of all that was familiar. We were together on 30 years. We thought we would grow old together. You were my soulmate, my once in a lifetime, my best friend. Steve was kind, compassionate, and a loving dad. He was so proud of all the kids. He loved his family and was never too busy or far away to lend a hand. He took great joy when we were all together. He was the stability for all and was always able to solve any problems. Steve loved his family barbecues and loved to cook, never letting anyone else near the hot plate. He didn't want rubber steaks. COVID put a hold to these gatherings, as did many activities. He loved a good red wine. At these gatherings, where the cricket bat or football would usually make an appearance through the afternoon, Steve loved his football, both union and league. He played union for Eastwood in his younger years. He supported and encouraged Jack to play both league and union, working 6 days a week, but still finding time to watch his games whenever he could. Saturday in our home was race day. He loved to put a punt, and his passing has brought this to a close. Brought this to a close, the passing of the quaddie with Mick, Jason and Gary. A 14-year which started in 2008. He loved a good pub feed with family, friends, or just the two of us. A cold beer always going down well. His fishing was a passion he dreamed of. A big game fishing and catching that huge one. He would put the boat in the water and float around the half-tide rocks under the Rip Bridge or out from the oysters at Kilcare. He loved to read. Fiction or non-fiction, it didn't matter. His last book remains unfinished. Our lives seemed on track, our plans coming together. A job liked and did not mind going. He enjoyed his workmates and often had a story about his day. I cannot imagine how we have moved forward without you, but I know you would not want the sadness or the grief. My heart is broken and I will love you till the end of my days. It's not goodbye, my love, but so long until we meet again. We are now going to pause the service and put some images up on the screen. You've each arrived here today carrying your own memories of Steve. And what this does now, it gives you a chance to add some more memories to the ones that you have arrived here with today and leave with an even bigger picture of Steve's life. Thanks, Matt.
Be a day when things change, and it won't be all that bad. I won't be there to block the rain, to give you the love that you once had. Don't forget about the good times we shared. Never let those eyes shed no tears. Don't be scared to go on living your life. Just because I'm not here, and the sun will still come up in the morning, still go back down at night, and the days may seem a little darker, but I promise they're just as bright. Close your eyes, breathe in, and you'll see that it's okay when tomorrow starts without me. Tell the kids that their daddy loved them. Tell them I did the best I can, and I know you'll take good care of them, 'cause with you they could not be in better hands. And when you call them to tell them the news, if it seems like they're feeling low, I'ma need you to stand real strong. Please make sure that they know that the sun will still come up in the morning, still go back down at night. And the days may seem a little darker, but I promise they're just as bright. Close your eyes, breathe in, and you'll see that it's okay when tomorrow starts without me. And the sun will still come up in the morning, still go back down at night. And the days may seem a little darker, but I promise they're just as bright. Close your eyes, breathe in, and you'll see that it's okay when tomorrow starts without me. When tomorrow starts without me.
To hear your voice, to see you smile, to sit and talk to you a while, to be together the same old way, that would be our greatest wish today. To hear you laugh, to hear you cry, or just a chance to say goodbye, to say the things we didn't say, that would be our greatest wish today. All we can do is throw a flower on the water, look for the sun through the rain, lay a little frangipani gentle on the water, remember how we loved you. To comb your hair, to lace your shoes, buy some flowers, let you choose a phone call when you're away, just to see if you're okay. To hear your voice, to see you smile, to sit and talk to you a while, to be together the same old way, that would be our greatest wish today. But all we can do is throw a flower on the water, look for the sun through the rain, lay a little frangipani gentle on the water, remember how we loved you, remember how we loved you. All we can do is throw a flower on the water, look for the sun through the rain, lay a little frangipani gentle on the water, remember how we loved you, remember how we loved you. But all we can do is throw a flower, remember how we loved you, look for the sun through the rain, remember how we loved you. But all we can do is throw a flower on the water, remember how we loved you, remember how we loved you.
now going to read a poem on behalf of the family. He is gone. You can shed tears that he is gone, or you can smile because he has lived. You can close your eyes and pray that he will come back, or you can open your eyes and see that he has left. Your heart can be empty because you cannot see him, or you can be full of love that you shared. You can turn your back on tomorrow and live yesterday, or you can be happy for tomorrow because of yesterday. You can remember him and only that he is gone, or you can cherish his memory and let it live on. And you can cry and close your mind, be empty and turn your back. Or you can do what he would want, smile, open your eyes, love and go on. It is now time to commit Steve's physical body to the elements. But before we do so, however, let us be thankful and grateful for Steve's life, remembering the impact that Steve's life has had on yours. You will remember Steve's life by the memories he leaves behind. Those of us who feel deeply will grieve deeply. No religion ever taught can ever prevent this natural reaction of the human heart. We come into this world and we leave with nothing. However, the memories we leave behind with our family and friends is what is important in life. Those memories. Today is not goodbye. Today is thank you. Thank you for touching our lives and giving us joy. Thank you for the memories that we will cherish forever. Thank you for the good times, and thank you for your loyalty to your loved ones and friends. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your laughter. Your life we honour, your departure we accept, and your memory we will cherish. We grieve from your death, but we have gratitude for your life and for the privilege of sharing it with you. We commit Steve's body for cremation. Earth to earth, dust to dust, we bid you farewell. Today we will remember the happy memories of Steve's life, and we are grateful that he has lived. We are grateful that we have seen his face and heard his voice, felt the touch of his hand and shared his love and friendship. On behalf of Wendy and the family, thank you all once again for your presence here today. The family would like to say a huge heartfelt thank you for the love and friendship you've all shown to Steve over his lifetime. The family would also like to thank you and invite you back to the Tall Timbers Hotel after the service. This is a very special part of the day. You've each arrived here with memories with Steve. You've shared a moment, a time and a place. And this is a time to share those memories together, perhaps over a beer. This is what will keep those memories living on in your hearts, those memories. We are now just going to put on one final piece of music before we leave today. Thank you, Matt.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying the stairway when she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word she can get what she came for. Ooh, and she's buying a stairway to heaven. There's a sign on the wall, but she wants to be sure, 'cause you know sometimes words have two meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven. There's a feeling I get when I look to the west, and my spirit is crying for leaving. In my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees, and the voices of those who stand looking. Makes me wonder. Really makes me wonder. And it's whispered that soon, if we all call the tune, then the piper will lead us to reason. And a new day will dawn for those who stand long, and the forests will echo with laughter. Bustle in your hedgerow, don't be alone there. It's just a sprinkling for the May Queen. Yes, there are two paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on. And it makes me wonder. In case you don't know, the piper's calling you to join him. Dear lady, can you hear the wind blow? And did you know your stairway